Hey everybody, it's Sergeant Soldier, and I want to do a real quick workbench wise guide number 6. And I've got a couple things to show off here today. One is I've taped off and primed my guitar. I have a Gibson, and it has a white pickboard, which I've cut out here to go on right there, and I'm going to paint it cherry red with a the rim will be a ivory color, and then this is a wine red, and it's the Gibson that my father bought me. It's a Gibson J45 from the 60s. They remade it in the 20s, but this guitar came brown, and I wanted to go ahead and turn it cherry wine colored. So that's the first part of what I've done tonight, and I'm gonna try not to lose that piece right there. What else I got going on? Little hack. I've got a big or growing collection of 21st century vintage, which is what we have to call it now because that stuff came out in the 90s. And you see, I'm zoom in a little bit here where I can see. And something I noticed, probably everybody remembers these wires on back, which are just damn near worthless trying to slip on to the edge. They weren't long enough. They did make a version that came out with a longer thing, but it didn't quite hold. And I'm wondering, because I knew back in the day that I had fixed that problem somehow, and I wanted to show y'all this right here is the you can see on the back of it where I've drilled in and sunk pinheads into everything. And this right here was, I gave one of these to my nephews, and with there's a few exceptions here and there, but for the most part, the nails or the pinheads all held. And these have been to the playground. This one has really stood up, and it's I believe the BAR pouches that were on it, that in order to keep them held on over the years, the pins went into the back. And so what I do is, here I've got a Cotswold belt to replace because it doesn't have the little plastic ends. Those break real easy on the webbing that comes with the 21st century stuff. What I'm doing is first of all making sure I got the orientation of it correct. Everything's spread out. I might even put one inside the bayonet there. But the first thing I would do is I would remove the wiring completely. I know, there goes that. And each one of these has that in it. And this will require a little bit of super glue. And what I do is once I've got the placement right of where I want it to go, I go ahead and glue it on the other side like this. Okay? And this would be a better direction to do that. Now that I've already got everything, make sure you get the bayonet slipped on, or a pistol belt or anything that's going to slip on by itself on there first. And then I'll put a bead of glue right there. There we go. Now I got the second one in. Drop a super glue. And then ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. So now I got 2 in there. And that'll keep it in place when you finally put it on. I will let it dry. Let's go ahead and do a canteen real quick. There we go. We got one where it's off. Got it oriented like it's supposed to be. Move this over a little bit. I'll put a bead of glue in there, about the width of the belt where I want it to hang. And glue that on, press it down. And what I'll do before I start, I'm going to open this up, pull everything off, and put slip a butt pack on here before I go on to the next one. You want to make sure to do that, because once you glue them on, boy, whatever you got in there is done. So let's see. It's almost level with where the original pegs would hang over it. So that's kind of why I did that. But you drill a couple holes. And let's say get it good and route it out so you can find it. And then do the next one. There we go. All right. I kind of went off camera to make sure, because this can get real fiddly, where I've got the 2 nails or pinheads kind of drilled in. I'm going to do a little spot of glue. And then push them in a little bit, and then give them a whack. You can see how the glue is darkened the material, but you know, just to get this really nailed down in there, and hopefully in 10-15 years this will still be connected. And I'm gonna go on down the line. I look at that, I messed up on the bayonet, and that's gonna have to come off, and then get reattached down the line. I forgot to put that in between there. But anyway, that's how I'm doing that. I'll show it later when I've slid all that off. But that's the little tip that I'm kind of putting out today. Anyway, that's Workbench Wise Guy number 6. Talk to you later. Bye.